All right, guys, we're going to go over how to use the RV that you're renting here. Right here's located the propane tanks. To adjust this, there's a little valve. You put two tanks on here, and then there's a valve. And whichever tank you're going to use, you're going to move that valve to point towards the tank you're using. So if you're using this, the valve will point this way. If you're using the other tank, it would go that way. Also, just for your reference, the battery is located behind the propane tank. You shouldn't need to worry about that at all, but it is there in case you do need it. As we come around here, there is some storage. The large storage compartment, this passes through all the way to the other side. This is where you're going to find your power cord, your sewer hose, water hose, all that kind of gear. Right here is one of the 4 stabilizer jacks. To lower those, there's a little hand crank in here, and you just literally spin them down. They are stabilizers. They're not to level the RV. It's just to stabilize it so it doesn't wobble on you. If you are dry camping, you're going to fill the water tank. To do that, you just unscrew the cap. You're going to put your garden hose in here. You're going to fill it up, and then there's a gauge inside. You can monitor the water level, how full it's getting. Don't overfill the tank because you don't want any water to come out inside the trailer or something like that. So watch those gauges as you go ahead and fill. Underneath here is the dump. So there's a gray dump and a black water dump. There's 2 pull handles. The black handle is for the black water. The gray handle is for the gray water. You put the sewer hose right on here, and then the other end goes into the dump station. You'll pull the black handle first. You let it drain out. Then you close it, and then you follow it up with the gray water. You pull that valve, and it kind of cleans out the hose from the sewer, and then you close that up. But when you do return it, please do us a favor, leave that gray one open. That way we know you've dumped it. You also have the one with the orange cap here is for cleaning the sewer tank. So if you're dumping, you can hook a hose into here, and it'll clean out the black water tank. Just remember, do not run water through this unless the black tank valve is in the open position. You do not want to fill up the black tank on accident, so you want to make sure the valve is open anytime you're adding water there. Now the one next to it that says city water, this is if you're at an RV park and you just want to run off the RV water, or off the park water. You're going to attach a hose here, and then you can just run straight in. If you're attached into the city, you do not need to run the water pump, because the city pressure is going to pressurize the system. Right here is the exhaust vent for the heater. Just make sure you don't get anything, lean anything up against this. This does get hot, so you don't want to put a tent against that or anything. As we come around, this is your power cord connect. This is how you're going to get shore power or plug into a generator. There's a big extension cord that screws on here, and then the other end's going to plug into the generator or plug in at the park. That's how you're going to get your air conditioner, your microwave, all that kind of stuff. Once again, you have another stabilizer jack right here. Once again, they just stabilize the RV so it doesn't wobble on you or anything. Now, this is the cool part of this trailer. It has the cargo area. Now, this isn't for loading like side-by-sides or anything. This is more for like bikes or maybe a quad. It's a smaller toy hauler, but it's great for those good adventures where you want to take a kayak or something like that. You just push the button in, you're going to swing this over. You're going to do the same thing over there. And then you can lay this down, and it's a ramp so you can load your stuff in or get your gear out. This unit does have a large awning. Just make sure that you do not leave the awning out when you're not sitting underneath it. You want to make sure if it's windy, if it's rainy or stormy or anything like that, you go ahead and close it up, and especially close it at night when you're going to bed. The arms are just made out of aluminum, and if a good gust of wind comes, it could rip the whole thing off. So just make sure it's all closed up when you're not using it. And then if you're going to go on your boat or go for a hike, close it up. Right here are the steps. These are just manual steps. You just reach in, you're going to pull them out, and they fold out. And then you have your safety bar right here so you can get in and out easily. You do have an outlet on the outside here if you want to set up a little table. You can put like a crock pot or anything else like that outside. That's very convenient when you're camping and you're cooking outside. And then lastly, this is that pass-through storage that we were talking about on the other side. There are a couple electrical outlets in here, some USB outlets for charging things, and your spare tires located in here. All right, well, we're gonna go inside and I'm gonna show you some stuff inside, so let's go take a look. All right, guys, we're gonna go around on the inside and show you how to use everything. Right here are 2 switches. This one right here is for the awning light for at night if you want some exterior lighting. This one is to operate the awning. Just remember, don't leave the awning out in the wind, any storm like that. Always close it before you go to bed. You don't want a storm to come during the night and rip it off or anything like that. Right here you have your heater. There are 2 switches. The one on top is to turn it on. The one on the bottom is actually to control the temperature. So you click it on over here, it just moves over just a little bit, and then you'll go ahead and turn the temperature on down there. Going from heating to cooling, right above our head here is the air conditioner. There's a little switch right here that turns. That's what's going to give you your cold air. This is not a heater or a heater element. This is just for the air conditioner. Remember, anytime you're using any major appliance like the air conditioner or the microwave, you must be plugged into park power, or you must be running a generator that can hold that kind of capacity, usually a 4,000 watt generator. Right here is the refrigerator. To get this started, you're going to open it up. There's an on-off switch and a gas switch. If you are dry camping, you're going to run it on gas. That means that this gas button, this button right here, is going to be pushed out. And then just to turn it on, you click here. If you're going to be at an RV park later on, you're going to run it on auto, meaning the button's pushed in. That means it's going to automatically select gas or electric, depending on if you're plugged in. It's smart enough to realize which one you're doing. And then inside here is actually the temperature control. So how these work is they actually freeze the freezer box first and then use the cold air from the freezer to cool the fridge. There is a little sliding valve right here. It says warmer, colder. If the fridge isn't getting cold, you want to adjust that. Also, this is just a what if scenario. If for some reason the fridge isn't cooling, make sure this hasn't fallen down. Say you went down a washboard road and it rattled loose and fell. It's not going to cool the fridge part. The freezer will stay frozen, but the fridge won't get cold. So double check that if you're like wanting to troubleshoot something. And then you just close these up. Don't yank too hard on this. You don't want to break the handle off or anything. They just kind of flip open and then pull it out. Right here is a 2 stovetop burner for cooking. You just lift it up in here and then you have two burners. That's great for cooking, and then it's got a little built-in backsplash. Your microwave is right here, and then you also have your power box, like your fuse box or your breaker box at your house. That's located here. Hopefully you don't need to get in there for anything, but if you a breaker goes off and you have to reset it, that's where it'd be located. Also, this has a great sitting area that converts into a sofa sleeper. So if you want to convert this, there are 2 handles down here. There's the base of the bed, and then if you reach over a little bit more, you can kind of feel there's a circular tube. You want to grab that, and then you would lift up on that, and we actually recommend you push down a little bit, and as you can see, it starts to convert into the bed portion. And then it'll lay flat, just like that. And then you just do the same thing to close it up. You just lift here, and then kind of push, and it kind of folds it, and you can grab it, swing it up just like that. When it's in that flatter position and you're going to travel, you can actually rotate the whole thing up against the wall, and then you strap it up there so you can load in your toys. If you have some bicycles or things like that, or a kayak you want to load in, that's going to clear this area so that you can do that. There is also a TV you guys can use. We don't supply anything like any DVDs or anything like that, but there's a good TV and a sitting area to watch that. You also have the back door that drops down. That's great if you want to get a good breeze rolling through here. And then one other thing we want to go over is lights. The light switches are kind of hidden just a little bit on this coach. All you do is you reach in here and touch the middle of the light. There's a little click and it turns it on, and it can turn it off just like that. And so there aren't really many switches around. Every light just has a little button you click on. We're going to go check out the bathroom. This is my favorite thing about this RV. This bathroom is huge for a small RV like this. Now, along the wall, there are some buttons. These are going to be your gauges, your tank level gauges, your water pump. So this one's your water pump button. These are all your black water, gray water, fresh water, and your battery levels. You also have down here your water heaters. One's electric, one's gas. And then you do have a GFI outlet right there. So say something's not working in the RV on another outlet, double check your GFI outlet that maybe you tripped it somehow. You just push it in just like your house would be. And then to flush the toilet, there is a little valve, a little foot push right here at the bottom. You just push that down and that's how you're gonna flush. And then you can head in. This has a great large, for a small trailer like this, large sleeping area up front. And then at the base of the bed are some charging ports. You have a couple USBs, you have a regular outlet. Just remember the regular outlets are gonna need you to be running park power or running a generator when you're using it. This RV is fantastic for any of you guys that are adventurers. You can throw your bicycles to go out riding, all that kind of stuff, a kayak. this is the RV for you. So hopefully you guys will have a great time, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.